Hello and welcome. As your team here at Bone Law Firm, we wanted to personally walk you through one of the most important documents you'll handle in your case, the CS41 form. Our whole goal here is to make this process as simple and stress-free as we possibly can for you.
We totally get it. Legal forms can look really intimidating, and it's completely normal to feel a little bit overwhelmed. But hey, don't you worry. That's exactly why we made this explainer. We're going to break it all down and give you the confidence you need to fill this out, no problem.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. It's pretty simple. First, we'll talk about why this form is so important. Then, we'll literally walk through it step by step. We'll point out some common mistakes to avoid, show you how this form fits into the bigger picture, and wrap up with your next steps. Easy enough, right? Let's dive in.
So first things first, why are we spending all this time on just one document? Well, it's because the CS41 income statement is, and I mean this, the absolute foundation for how child support gets calculated here in Alabama. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with this form.
Just think of it like this. For the court to make a fair decision, it needs the right information. This form is how you provide those crucial financial facts, your income, certain expenses, that get plugged into Alabama's official formula, which is known as Rule 32. So as you can see, being accurate here is, well, it's everything.
Now, this quote here is pulled directly from the bottom of the form, right where you sign, and it's really important because it shows just how serious this document is. The CS41 isn't just another piece of paperwork. It's a sworn legal statement. It's an affidavit. When you sign it, you are swearing under penalty of perjury that everything you put down is the truth.
All right, let's get practical. It's time to actually walk through the form itself. We're going to break this down into simple, manageable parts, moving right from the top to the bottom so you know exactly what goes in every single blank.
Okay, the top of the form is pretty straightforward. You'll fill in the court, county, and your case number, which, by the way, we've already given you. Then you'll just check whether you're the plaintiff or defendant, pop in the last 3 digits of your social, and list your current employer's information. Simple as that.
Now we're getting to the most important part of the whole form, your income. The court looks at something called gross income, and under Rule 32, that's a very broad term. Put simply, it's your total earnings before a single penny in taxes or any other deductions are taken out.
This little table makes it super clear what you need to include and what you should leave out. And here's a helpful hint. This info comes straight from the back of the CS41 form. It's kind of like a cheat sheet. So you've got to report your salary, bonuses, side gigs, but you do not include things like child support you might get for other kids or public assistance benefits. Okay, for all you self-employed folks, your calculation is just a little bit different. Rule 32 says your gross income is your total business earnings. They call it gross receipts, minus the ordinary and necessary expenses you need to run your business. This is a really key difference, so make sure you have your business records handy.
All right, let's move on to the next couple of sections. These cover some important costs that can actually adjust the final calculation. Here's where you list what you pay monthly for work-related childcare, any child support or alimony you're already paying from a previous case, and of course, the cost of health insurance for your children.
Now, the health insurance calculation can seem a little tricky, but Rule 32 gives us a precise formula. You don't put the whole premium down, nope. Instead, you have to find the per-person cost. Just follow these 4 steps. Find the total monthly premium. Divide it by the total number of people on the policy. Then, take that number and multiply it by the number of children involved in this specific case. That's it.
Okay, once everything is filled out and you've given it a good once-over for accuracy, there's just one last thing to do. You have to sign it. But, and this is a big but, you can't just sign it anywhere. It has to be signed in the presence of a notary public. That's the step that officially makes this a sworn affidavit for the court.
Before we move on, I really want to spend a minute on the most common mistakes we see people make. Seriously, avoiding these little traps will save you a ton of time, cut down on stress, and just help your case move along a whole lot smoother.
So let's just run through this quick list. Number 1, don't guess on your income. Use your pay stubs. 2, always report your gross pay, not your take-home pay. 3, be thorough. Don't forget bonuses or side jobs. 4, double-check that health insurance math using the 4 steps we talked about. And last but not least, please don't forget to get it notarized.
I know we've said it, but I'm going to say it one more time because it is that important. This is, by far, the biggest point of confusion. The court needs your gross income. That's the total amount you earn before anything comes out. If you use your net or take-home pay, the child support calculation will be wrong. every single time.
Hey, want a pro tip to make this whole thing way less of a headache? Gather all your documents before you even start filling out the form. Seriously, having your recent pay stubs, your last tax return, and your health insurance statements right there next to you will make this process so much faster and a whole lot more accurate.
So now that you're an expert on the CS41, let's kind of zoom out for a second and see how this one piece of paper fits into the whole child support process. It's actually the very first step in a pretty logical chain of events.
The process really comes down to these three key forms. First, you provide all the raw numbers on the CS41. Then, we take that information and plug it into the CS42, which is the official worksheet that does the math. Finally, the CS43 is filed to let the judge know that we followed all the rules. See how that works? Your effort on the CS41 is what fuels the next two critical steps. And really, that's the main takeaway. A carefully and accurately filled out CS11 isn't just about checking a box. It's truly your best tool for making sure the outcome is fair. It gives us, your legal team, and the court the power to make decisions based on the real financial picture. The effort you put in here matters. A lot.
Look, we know we've covered a ton of information, and it is absolutely okay if you still have some questions or if something just doesn't feel clear. That is precisely what we are here for, to help you, support you, and make sense of it all.
So please do not hesitate to reach out. If you get stuck on a section of the form or you just want to run something by us to make sure you're on the right track, give our office a call at the number right there on your screen. We are ready and waiting to help.